Hello, hi. Welcome back to my course on enhancing soft skills and personality. I am Ravichandran from IIT Kanpur. I am giving this lecture and the lesson to you through NPTEL MOOC format. We are already in second week, and today we will go to the third unit of second week, and on the whole this will be the 8th lesson. This week we started with a very important aspect of soft skills and personality development and enhancing the personality along with developing it, that is with regard to how we deal with time. So, we started with managing time, and in this lesson in particular let us see how you can handle delay. So, if you are able to handle delay, you will be able to manage time almost perfectly, and in order to handle delay, let us try to understand what is procrastination and why do we procrastinate. Now, before I start, I would like to give you the highlights of the last lesson. What did we do in the last lesson? In the previous lesson, we focused on using time efficiently. Now, what did I mean by efficient use of time? Time efficiency itself implies identifying and doing activities of high value and by managing our habits and perceptions of time. Now, in order to manage our habits and perceptions of time and to identify high value activities, I suggested that you should have a systematic plan. And what are the steps in having that kind of systematized plan? First, you should plan for lifetime. You should not plan for what you will do now, moment by moment. You have to think, as Stephen Covey talks about in his 7 habits of highly effective people, that he says that you should plan with the end in mind. So, you should think of what is going to happen to you after 10 years of your career, 20 years of your career, 50 years of your lifetime, what are you planning to do? And having planned, then break your life plan into achievable goals. So, you make it smart in the sense you make it measurable, you make it effective, you make it flexible, workable and realistic and time bound also. And then at the same time you try to write your goals. Unless you put the goals in black and white on paper, so you will not be able to actually visualize. And many people, many successful people have actually kept on visualizing their goals by writing it on the wall before them, on the mirror, or even in the bathroom they have kept their goals in small phrases, single line, and then they kept on reminding themselves. Having identified your goals and then writing it and then visualizing, you should prioritize your activities. Now, you have goals, objectives, but within that there are so many events and activities which are vying for our attention. So, you should prioritize, you should identify the topmost one. Now, once you prioritize what is the topmost one that needs your attention immediately, as far as the value of enhancing your life is concerned, not the one that is just standing before you and trying to pressurize your time, not that, but what will happen if you do this and then how will it enhance your life. So, those are the ones that you need to prioritize, and then once you prioritize, stick to your prioritized activities, do not get distracted and take care of time leakage, try to stop them. So, we spend quite some time in terms of time leakage such as interruptions, your tendency of not delegating work to someone or not saying no in order to please people, or working in a kind of disorganized surroundings, not knowing where to keep things, or not remembering the place in which you kept certain things, and then spending so much time in looking for one simple thing just like a pencil or a sharpener or a pen or a key. Okay. Now, these are things which are actually going to leak your time that is available at your disposal. Another important aspect with regard to our day to day life is now knowing how to save time by managing emails. So, there again we spend quite some time. I said that you should spend some specific time for checking, and you should use spam filters, and you should not return to the email again and again. In fact, you should go to the email only once and then you should decide immediately. Returning is again wasting your time. You should create folders, appropriate ones, and then maintain important emails for future reference and keep them in folders. The best email maintenance will be indicated by maintaining clear inbox, where if you have nothing in the inbox, at least by the time you go to bed or at least by the time you get up. So, you learnt the secret of maintaining your time by maintaining emails. There are other time cancers that we also discuss, such as the lazy mindset, our tendency to seek pleasure immediately, our tendency to postpone, about which we are going to spend this lesson as well as the next one, not starting if not sure of end results, escapist tendency, watching TV endlessly and finding others' jobs more important than our own jobs. Okay. Apart from this, I suggested some more tips, such as I said that you give due regard to your deadlines. Okay. Stick to it, adhere to it, and then do not miss any deadline, and convert time stealers into time gifters. Time stealers are the ones which come suddenly, like a cancelled flight, okay, or a train that is delayed, and then you are there, and then they just hijack your time because you went there without any preparation. But if only you can go with planned activity even during this time, and the time stealers become times which actually gift you unplanned time that comes to you at your disposal, and then you can use it for activities which you normally do not do, such as like even writing a poem, arranging a meeting and all that. I concluded by discussing with you Stephen Covey's model of how you should prioritize the most important one at the top, and then I also threw some light on Pareto principle, which is a very interesting principle which introduced the concept of 80-20. So, 80% of your productivity depends on 20% of your activity. By extension, we also discussed that 20% of your problems are the ones which are actually giving you 80% of distress. Okay. Now, conversely, if you look at it, 20% of how you waste your time, that is the time you delay doing things, the time you spend in procrastination, can affect 80% of your productivity. Now, is it not worthwhile to look at how we can handle this delay? Now, having watched the previous lectures on time management, some students were asking like, okay sir, it is easy for you to talk about time management, but then we do not know what happens to us. Despite the best of our intentions, we are not able to meet deadlines, and then many of us are not able to focus on high value tasks. Now, if you ask why, the answer is owing to your tendency to procrastinate. Okay. Now, this is something you think that you are not aware of, and you always focus on thinking that you will manage time, but without knowing that this is something that is killing your time without your knowledge, sometimes even unintentionally, inadvertently. So, what is procrastination and how we can handle it? So, before that, in order to understand procrastination, beware of Parkinson's law. It is another interesting law. What is this Parkinson's law? It simply says work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. What does it mean? If I come and tell you that you do this work and you ask what is the deadline, I say tomorrow morning, okay, without fail, otherwise you will be thrown out of the job. Now, even if the work is of a great magnitude, that cannot be done even by tomorrow morning. When a deadline is given, you put all your efforts, okay, and then you finish it before the deadline. However, according to Parkinson's law, if I tell you anytime you want to submit, anytime you want to complete, you can complete. Now, if I say any time, time is at your disposal, the work will never get completed till I come and say, when I say any time and when I set that day any time to you, I did not mean 5 years. I thought that you may do it in a month or so. So, you are just sitting on that for about 5 years. Now, tomorrow morning if you do not do it, I am just going to throw you out of the job, and then you get it done tomorrow morning. Why did the work expand up to 5 years, which could be done maybe in 5 hours or so? So, that is a very interesting law suggested by Parkinson. So, whenever you are given a deadline and then your work will expand so as to fill the time available for its completion. So, I tell the students while giving an assignment, and even when you are writing an assignment, when we say that this deadline, it is Tuesday 11:59, you have to submit it, and we say there is no extension possible, you do your best and then try to finish it even much before Tuesday or even at least before the deadline. But if we say we may give extension, so we may extend it till next week, and there is no hard and fast rule that you should finish it within that deadline, so you will never complete it. So, the same thing I tell the student when they ask for extension of assignment deadline, I tell them nothing is going to happen by extending it by 1 day or 1 week, because whatever could be done, you will be able to do it within the time that I have given you. Understand this Parkinson's law, because you will keep on stretching, and what will you do? You will fill the time available with unnecessary activities. Hence, the wise saying that if you want to get a job done, give it to someone who is busy. Have you heard of this, that they say that if at all you want a job to be done immediately, they say that give it to this person who is running, who is always on the toes, who is always busy, and he is filled with schedule and deadlines, because this person when you give, so he knows that okay, you are his friend or you are his boss and you want it to be done, and he is under this moral obligation to get it done for you. He or she will do it as quick as possible, because he or she wants to focus on the task at hand and follow the deadline and schedule they have planned for themselves. Okay. Now, that is why if you give it to somebody who is busy, the job will be done. If you give it to somebody who is lazy, the job may never get done. Along with this, you should also be aware of the fact which I have been telling again and again, that you should learn to say no, about which we will spend one more lesson, maybe the one after the next one. And everything you do is an opportunity cost, that is something you should realize. Now, instead of completing that assignment, somebody is calling you for a movie. Now, it is at the cost of risking your assignment, not submitting it in time, or trying to do a cut paste and getting caught and then getting 0 in that assignment. So, not getting the work done and regretting later at the cost of enjoying a movie with your friend now. Everything you do is an opportunity cost, that is at that opportune moment what you do, you are always trying to trade off something else that you could have done it in a better manner. So, avoid procrastination by all means at any cost. When I say like all means, I say by all your mental, emotional and physical means, try to avoid it, and at any cost, I literally even mean at any cost. Even you give money to delegate a job, okay, but get something done in time. So, at any cost, even at the cost of even spending some money and not minding some extra expenses, but finish it in the time that is given to you. Now, why and why should not you delay? Why should not you procrastinate? Procrastination, what is it? The act or habit of putting off, delaying or deferring an action to a later time, especially when something requires immediate attention. So, something needs your immediate attention, it is on topmost priority, but you coolly put it off, you delay, you defer, okay, you keep on delaying it and you think at a later time I can get it done. Interestingly, the word is coined from the root pro, meaning forward, crash indicating tomorrow. So, procrastination, your tendency to believe that there is a fast forward in life and then thinking that tomorrow it will be done better and then delaying tomorrow endlessly. In other word, if you want to understand what is procrastination, you can say that it is the abysmal gap, huge gap between what is intended and what gets executed. So, morning you plan that I will finish reading this novel. At 12 o'clock midnight when you are dozing off, you realize that, oh, only 5 pages I could finish. What happened? Okay. So, you got distracted and then there were other things. If only you sat through continuously, you could have finished that novel. So, the abysmal gap between what is intended and what gets executed. So, what you thought of doing and what actually you did. So, that is indicated by your tendency to procrastinate. And letting the low priority tasks interfere with the completion of high priority ones. So, that is again a symptom of procrastination. What happens? It will obviously result in panic, it will give you regret and you will regret that you should have started it earlier than the time that you actually decided to work on when it is already too late. What will procrastination lead to? Procrastination leads to squandering time, that is you just fritter away time when it is with you, and it will make you realize about the unused opportunities because of your procrastination. It will obviously end up in making you give poor performance, resulting in self criticism and self deprecation, costing low self esteem and then feeling too low that you are a useless person, and finally giving you stress as well as depression. But if you can handle procrastination, what are the benefits? How would you feel? Handling procrastination obviously will relieve you from stress and it will make you cool. You will be very peaceful in your inner state of mind. You will develop resolve, strength of mind, strong will and determination. You will also learn how to control the events of your life, okay, like controlling your life, giving a direction, having a sense of purpose does not come to you so easily. Only when you manage time and then you have huge chunks of time left for planning and executing the other goals of your life, you will be able to take control of the events of your life. Overall, handling procrastination enhances your confidence and sense of worth. But if you ask me, obviously I know all these things about procrastination, the advantages and disadvantages, but why do I procrastinate? Why do we procrastinate? When we develop psychologically and emotionally fear for the unknown, we procrastinate. When we fear humiliation, failure and or rejection, then again we procrastinate. When we fear that we are inadequate and suffer from low self-esteem, we do procrastinate. When we worry too much about what others think, oh, what will they say about my performance? What will she think of me? What will he do if I behave like this? So, all the time worrying too much about what others think will paralyze you and then it will make you keep on procrastinating any task. And when we are pessimistic about the outputs, so we have a negative mindset and then most of the times we tend to think, oh, I will work very hard, I will do this in time, but I won't get the reward. The the boss will not prize me, I will not get appreciation, somebody else will get it, I will not win the competition. Now, it is important for your own sake that you finish it in time, not for anybody else. And interestingly, what are the other times when we procrastinate? Even when we just feel lazy. Okay, maybe you just feel tired, you just feel lazy, so you just want to unwind sometimes. So that is also the time we tend to procrastinate. Physical statement by Newton in terms of first law of motion, when he talks about inertia, actually simply says that when you are just lazy, you want to be lazy, whether you enjoy it or not. It is a physical state in which inertia is trying to beget inertia, it is not letting you get up. So, what has Newton to say about inertia? In the first law of motion, he says, an object at rest stays at rest and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. If a person is just resting, he or she would like to rest, and if a person is, let us say, running or moving or doing something in action, would like to continue with that action in the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Something else comes and hinders, they keep on doing this. Both, one who takes rest and the other one who is in action. So, inertia is also a kind of human tendency that emanates in a physical level, and it is the tendency for the body at rest to stay at rest and resist change. So, you will need greater forces to initiate change in the body than to maintain change, which means when somebody is running, it is easy for the person to run or continue running, and when somebody is taking rest, it is rather much difficult for the person to even think of getting up. So, lying on the couch is easier than getting up. So, that is why people, once they are lazy, they just lie, and then they, even for water, so they will ask somebody to get it for them. Continue with the thought as why do we procrastinate? When we want to do a job perfectly, you may procrastinate because you may be a perfectionist and you want to do the job perfectly. You will wait till you get the funding, till you get the resources, till you develop the skill. Okay. And when you write that book, when you submit that thesis, okay, when you finish that work of art, you want that to be a masterpiece. Now, in the next lecture, we will learn how to sort out these kind of tendencies and how to beat procrastination and overcome. But understand that even if you are a perfectionist, so you may try to procrastinate. And we procrastinate, interestingly, when we are afraid of success, when you are afraid that success can bring its own pressure and then commitment and responsibility, which we do not want to face right now. And when we are addicted to adrenaline rushes, any kind of addiction, okay, especially the bad addiction, whether it is smoking or chewing gum or watching movies, spending time on the net, or even just chatting and whiling away your time. So, anything that slightly gives that mild rush in your brain and then makes you feel happy, okay, make you feel comfortable. So, those are things that you have to carefully see whether they are acting as procrastinators in your life. When do we procrastinate? When we wistfully think that the work will get done by somebody. So, we have an inner wish that, oh, I will not do it, but somebody will do it for me. We also procrastinate when we think that by delay the work will disappear. So, this really a kind of wishful thinking, and sometimes even unwise to think that way, thinking that if I delay, somebody will do, but if I delay, the work also may not be there. Okay, the work will lose its that timely value, and one need not to do that at all. So, some people even use delay as a kind of strategy to completely sort of negotiate with the work, or completely try to negate doing that work at all. And when do we procrastinate? When we are overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. So, when we feel that the task is too big and our mind makes a mountain out of a molehill, a very small thing, we think that, oh, it's like the Himalayas, you cannot do it. Look at this cartoon that I got from the net. So, it's typifies a procrastinate's mind in terms of getting overwhelmed. So, the person feels, okay, he says, the task I must undertake is towering over me like a great big monolith. So, what he says and what he thinks, it is too big to contemplate. So, I think I will go and have a little look at the internet. Now, this little look, thinking that I will just spend 1 minute time and then I will come back. Okay. The 1 minute never remains 1 minute, it becomes minutes, hours, sometimes days, and then coming back never happens. You endlessly get caught in this internet, and then as somebody pointed out, you lose your focus, get easily distracted, and you seek solace in trivial comfort zones which are available in the net. So, somebody called YouTube, Wikipedia, Twitter, Facebook, etc. as weapons of mass distraction. I would say this mass distraction equals mind distraction. So, when you yield yourself to this mass distraction, you are actually destroying your mind, you are destroying your will to do execute a job, you are destroying your mind to think creatively, you are destroying your mind to change you, mold you into a different person. So, it is important that you should focus and not get distracted. Interestingly again, when do we procrastinate? When we suffer from Peter Pan syndrome. Who is Peter Pan? What is the syndrome about? Peter Pan is a very interesting character created by the Scottish playwright J. M. Barrie. Now, the character has been immortalized in so many forms in cartoons and has become a kind of icon for a young child who can fly, but actually the child grows up in body as an adult, but remains child forever. Now, the ability to remain child forever makes this Peter Pan, although growing as an adult, still thinking and feeling and acting like a child. So, from this psychologists derived the term the Peter Pan syndrome, which indicates a kind of emotional and social immaturity. So, to indicate people who do not want or feel unable to grow up. So, you will find that somebody looks so gigantic in form and figure, but then the person is just behaving like a child, acting like a child, feeling like a child. So, they have the body of an adult, but think, feel and act like a child. For instance, not starting a work without any motivation. So, if you want a child to do something, so you say that, oh, I will give you chocolate, so you please do this. Okay. If you pass in the exam, I will give you this treat. If you do this, I will give you ice cream. So, not starting a work without any motivation, and if something goes wrong, so tendency to blame others. So, what will a child do? It will always say, oh, I didn't do, so she came and did this, that is why it broke, although the child might have broken it on its own. So, this tendency to avoid responsibility, shirking responsibility, being irresponsible, and not even letting one's mind to grow up and accept this level of responsibility, social obligation, and developing emotional maturity. So, that is considered to be Peter Pan syndrome. So, you should ask, like, do you have this syndrome? Are you behaving like a child, or are you feeling like a child by avoiding work? So, then you should realize that it is high time that you grow up emotionally. But as a concluding thought, I want to tell you that delay is dangerous, and delay can even lead to complete denial of something. I always remember this story from Leo Tolstoy, God sees the truth but waits. Some of you might have read this, but if you have not read this, so you read this, it is available online easily. Briefly, what is the story about? The hero, the protagonist of the story, is a very young man and married to a very beautiful and rich girl, and he is also a very rich person, rich young man, and he wants to see the fair. So, the wife prevents him at the beginning of the story, saying that please do not go to the fair, because I just had a dream in which you are returning with grey hair, and then I could see some blood or something in your hand, and I am feeling very uncomfortable that you should leave. But he does not listen to her, he just laughs it off, and then he goes to the fair, and on the way he meets a businessman who is again very rich, and then they just spend some time together, and they want to spend some time in the inn at that night. So, when they are just taking rest, and then they were just lying next to each other at night, since this hero of the story actually gets up and then leaves early, he gets up and leaves early, but on the way he is stopped by some policemen who arrest him actually for the murder of the businessman with whom he was spending some time in the previous evening, and night they were in the same room sleeping next to each other, and the knife was just found below his pillow. Now, circumstantial evidences prove that he is the one who actually killed the businessman, and they arrested him. Now, his wife also thinks that since he got the dream and he might have actually done it, that actually pains the hero so much, and then in the prison he spends the remaining time until one day the actual person who killed the businessman is also sent to the prison, and this fellow along with other fellow prisoners is trying to dig a tunnel and by which they can escape, but that comes to the notice of the prison guard, and then when he wants the hero to tell the truth, he politely avoids telling him the truth. Now, seeing this quality, the actual murderer confesses the guilt, and then he goes and then he tells the magistrate that he is the one who actually killed, and then this person should be released. But by the time the order for his release comes, this hero of the story is already dead. So, what Tolstoy was trying to tell us, whether it is God's ways or whether it is human beings' way of doing things in life, he wants to tell that justice delayed is justice denied. But it is not only justice, but any act in your life, if you delay, you are denying something, either for you or for somebody else, or to the environment that is around you. And a life that you live in denial compared to a life that you live in giving, so obviously will make you feel remorseful towards the end of your life and career. Now, with this story, I just want you to focus on one interesting quote from Robin Sharma. He says that you can't win if you don't begin. How rightful it is, you can't win if you don't begin. So, again echoing other proverb like the journey of 1,000 miles, start with the first step. If you don't take the first step, so your journey will never commence. But I just want to end with a favorite quote of mine. The author is not known clearly, but then this is something that I like very much. I don't fear commitment, I fear wasting my time. Now, in the name of appointments, in the name of doing something for somebody, in the name of doing so many things, actually there is no commitment. So, the author of the quote says, I don't fear commitment. If I am committed to something, I feel responsible and I can do this. But in the name of commitment, I actually fear wasting my time. People will waste my time. Now, in the next one, let us see how you can save your time and then how you can safeguard yourself from people who just hijack your time, and overall how you can overcome procrastination. Last but not the least, I am not giving any further reference, but these are must read books. If you are interested in managing your time, life and stopping procrastination, read Brian Tracy's at least 4 books: Eat That Frog, Get Paid More and Promoted Faster, Focal Point, Goals, How to Get Everything You Want Faster Than You Ever Thought Possible, Getting Organized at Work by Ken Ziegler. And then if you want to know more about Peter Pan, and if you are interested and to know and understand why even smart people fail, just read an interesting article from Psychology Today, for which I have given the internet link. I am very happy that you have been spending some time with me, and I hope the time is spent fruitfully. Plan your time to watch the videos and get your assignments accomplished in time. Wish you all the best for doing this course and continuing and staying with me. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you again in the next one.